Why would a business owner bother employing people so that they can just sit at work? If you were a business person right now, would you be willing to risk hiring workers to do work that requires electricity if Eskom told you this?
Businesses are being advised to cut production by 30% during high stages of rolling blackouts. City Power says this will reduce strain on its systems. The utility says its top priority is to protect healthcare facilities.
Imagine that. Business owners must now work knowing that they might have to lower their production. How crazy is that? Where are the jobs and all the industrialization you speak of going to come from? Seriously, where is the industrialization going to come from when the energy required to drive industrialization is limited? How are we expected to create more jobs when required to lower production? How upside down is all of this? The funniest thing of all is that they're telling businesses to lower production, but a few days before they were saying they don't have enough money. They were telling us that they are not collecting enough taxes and are considering taxing us more.
Right now, we've got limited revenue limits. Our revenue, as it stands, is not able to fund every priority, every ambition that we have. So the Minister of Finance scrounges around to find money. So in the end, as South Africans, we therefore need to sit back and say, how are we going to stop? And I think the Minister of Finance sought to address this yesterday. How are we going to get over the budget cuts? How are we going to continue funding all our priorities?
Given the challenges and priorities that we are facing, how do we fund them? Really, that's a debate. Do we borrow more? What are the implications of that? Do we continue cutting expenditure? What are the implications of that? Do we raise tax? What are the implications of that? There's general agreement that in the current environment, we need to find a way of funding our priorities.
Now, instead of businesses being encouraged to grow, employ more people, contribute more to the economy, they are being asked to reduce their production, which consequently will reduce how much they contribute to the economy. Imagine the madness of the state of things. You have no money, but you're failing to provide a permanent supply of electricity that will ensure that you get the money you need. Instead of focusing on improving the things that bring more revenue to the government, they tell you to lower the production. By lowering production, a business will be put in a position of having workers just sitting or cleaning windows or walking around picking up papers instead of operating machinery and producing something. In most cases, the workers will even sit down and simply say, I get paid whether the company lowers production or not. Right? A 30% reduction in production means a reduction in profits and money available to cover business expenses, including salaries and wages. When salaries and wages consequently get lowered, the workers complain that they are not getting paid enough, so they go and doi. The unions will support that the workers be given more money regardless of the conditions that the businesses are being subjected to by the government. Instead of making sure Transnet is operating at 100%, instead of making sure that Eskom is functioning at 100%, the unions are only focused on employees getting 100%. The communists are likely not going to care that businesses are having to lower production, which lowers their revenue. Businesses are stuck using generators instead of electricity, stuck using expensive trucks instead of trains. All these factors increase the cost of goods, so obviously we end up paying more at the till. Meanwhile, Eskom has swallowed up billions of our taxes. Talk about incompetence, corruption, and laziness. As if all of this is not enough, Eskom still demands to raise the cost of electricity. What are we doing, guys? The fact is, countries do not develop by accident. Industrialization is a coordinated effort wherein the government leads the entire nation towards prosperity. The reliability of our institutions is what we need in order to build businesses. Telecommunications must be top-notch. We are fortunate in that department because of capitalism. Private companies have us covered there. Imagine if we had to rely on Telkom and the post office. Instead, we have companies like Mr. D and the courier guy taking care of our deliveries pronto. MTN, Cell C and Vodacom have also covered us. When it comes to transportation, imagine depending on Transnet to transport our farm produce or our manufactured items. But hey, the trucks on the roads have us covered. Our institutions are failing to provide us with dependable electricity, hence solar panels are becoming a thing. Our institutions are failing to protect us from criminals, so private security companies are becoming a go-to for many. Delivery companies are blowing up because our institutions are failing to deliver packages safely and on time. The worst part about all of this is that the use of these private companies is a reason why the cost of things in South Africa keeps on rising. Most of these companies came about out of necessity. They were brought into existence because the ANC-led government kept butchering our institutions. Without the failure of the police in protecting us, there would be no need for the private security companies. Without the hospital nightmares, there would be no need for private hospitals. The same goes for the schools and many other sectors within our country. I mean, look at the border management. Look at the failures of the National Prosecuting Authority and SIU. When the public institutions function well, that boosts the confidence of both the citizens and the market. The more we can rely on these institutions, the more businesses can be started in South Africa because the surprises are fewer. People, both local and international, would be willing to invest their resources into starting businesses here. The government would benefit by seeing a rise in employment, a rise in industrialisation and innovation. Even without that 2% VAT increase, they will get the higher taxes they need for their priorities and ambitions. That is the role of government, to be unnoticeable, doing their work with precision and excellence, enabling everyone else to function well. They need to be there, but rarely ever noticed. Not under the ANC, I guess. Lower your production by 30%.
And with our businesses, we have made contact with them to request them to curtail or to reduce the consumption, because you can imagine there are those businesses that cannot switch off the machines. So, but what we have asked them, because we've got curtailment agreements with them, that whenever we are at higher stages from 4 to 6, they should at least cut their production, by at least 20 to 30%, depending on the capacity that is required by Eskom.
Where will the taxes to fund the government that is broke going to come from? Companies have been talking about shutting down their operations because of load shedding, and you guys make it seem like, it's just 30%, dude. What's the big deal? If everyone in our beautiful country really knew these things, the ANC and its babies wouldn't last long. Many don't know, but they are starting to know. They will know, and I hope that by then it won't be too late. To help us spread this knowledge and understanding to more people, please like and share this video, join our membership, buy a t-shirt, or make a donation to support our work. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Katlego. This is Citizen Concerned. And until next time, beware of the comrades.